Hi everyone, it's T-Man Speaks here with a special edition of the Des Video Challenge. I have Adam Rogers here, actually in Washington, D.C., in front of the Congress building. Good day, Adam. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, Tony. Good to talk to you.
Yeah,
Good to be
good to
connected with
talk to you.
Edmonton.
It's cool to be on a video again. Here we're a little further apart this time, though.
Yes, we are, but through technology and the internet, it's like we're right next to each other.
So, couple questions for you, just while we have you online here. Why 2030 after your name?
2030 relates to the Sustainable Development Goals. Those are 17 goals. I've mentioned them a few times on Des video challenges that are meant to end poverty, end hunger, end discrimination of all types, bring the men and women together on the same opportunities, lower the playing field for everyone everywhere on Earth. These goals are meant to be achieved by the year 2030. So that's why I have Adam Rogers 2030 as my Twitter handle.
Cool, thanks. Appreciate that. And I was familiar with that, but just always good to get a little more detail. So let me ask you, there's a lot of stuff going on in Canada with tariffs. Just curious, from a perspective of SDGs and tariffs and everything that's going on in the news, what you think?
Yeah, with tariffs, interestingly enough, in the SDGs, there is a connection. When countries are starting to develop and their products aren't yet at a level where they can compete internationally, it's generally accepted that they can protect their economies so that the people of that country are forced to trade amongst themselves. So we saw it in India in the 1980s. We saw it in Latin America. And then when these countries grew, the economies grew strong enough, then yeah, I'm just going to cross the street here while we have a break.
Sure. It's cool.
Yeah, my motorcycle, my Harley just parked over here.
Nice.
Then we'll talk about how Harleys relate to tariffs. So as I was saying, when countries develop enough where they can compete on the international scale, all right, they can compete with other countries, then tariffs tend to be reduced. But then if the economy starts to weaken and the country needs to protect its economy, then that's when tariffs can be introduced.
Cool.
So if I'm mixing my words here a little bit, it might sound confusing, but generally when a country develops products that are of a sufficient quality, that they're confident that they can compete internationally. So in India, for example, it's protected its economy for many years until its economy grew strong enough and enough people were lifted out of poverty where it could compete internationally. China did the same thing. Latin America did the same thing. But generally, countries don't go backwards. They don't go back in tariffs. Often, if a country introduces tariffs, it makes it more expensive for people in other countries to buy those products. So as you'll see also with Harley Davidson, if you could see mine here.
Yeah.
As you've all heard, Harleys may have to start producing overseas so that they can then avoid the tariffs and keep selling so the American business can continue to grow and be strong. Tariffs in this case would limit the amount of Harleys that the company can sell overseas. And people overseas, they love Harleys. And so the company wants to continue doing business, continue bringing the American dream to people around the world. And so the tariffs in that case may not be so helpful.
Right. Well, hey, thanks for the great education. I know you're off with your son doing some stuff there. Appreciate you doing the quick video. So a big shout out on the 4th of July and have a great Independence Day there. Certainly appreciate you getting on and jumping on. Had a great time.
Thank you, Tony. See you again.